So this week we're going to talk about a smallish DS game that I thought was pretty interesting. It's called Ninja Town. And there's this guy named Sean Smith who used to be an editor for EGM, and he created his own company and does toys, and it's called Shawnimals, and there's these cute little like demon, kind of very Japanese-looking plushy toys that he sells. And this video game is based on that property, these little ninjas versus these little demons. And the game type is a relatively new kind of subgenre of strategy game that has just taken flight in the last couple of years after Desktop Tower Defense was released on the PC. It was this very independent game made by one guy, and the concept is that there's a stream of enemies going from one point to another point, and you need to kill all of them before they get to that second point. And they come in a very standard way, and you have to plan how you're going to set up these different towers to shoot them or slow them down in different ways. And you spend the money that you make by killing them on either upgrading those towers or adding new towers. And so you take wave after wave of enemies, and it's how far can you go. Well, this does that, but wraps it in very DS-centric controls. So you're playing with the stylus, but you also, blow on the microphone to do certain special attacks and things.
Or scream.
Yeah.
Which I was doing while Heather was sleeping. She was like, what the? And I was like, it's the game, it's the game.
Did you have fun playing it? Because I know you're not a real-time strategy guy, but this is very different kind of real-time strategy.
Well, and that's interesting that you say that it's different real-time strategy, because I picked up the game, and it was ninjas. So instantly, +1.
Adorable ninjas at that.
+1 goes over my head, like somebody just shot me in the face and called it bing. Then the story started, and it's very sort of snarky, inside baseball story, fun times, and so it was like, bing, bing. Then it was like, so this is how you do. You can place these guys on the map here, and I was like, oh, it's real-time strategy, the bane of my existence. And then I started playing it, and it was so much fun. I had a blast playing this.
It's very addictive kind of game, right?
And you know what it is? It's quick. It's like bite-sized. You know what I mean? Like I'd go, oh, you know what? I should just flip this open real quick. I'd flip it open and play one level and be like, oh, cool, and then close it. And that's not how real-time strategy games usually are.
Right.
You usually don't sit down for 5 minutes and play a round of real-time strategy, which is another thing that I think maybe is why I'm sort of I tend to veer away from them. But it was really satisfying. It was satisfying coming up with, and this is something that I could say is, Dan calls it the good suck. I don't think this sucked at all, but it was the thing of locking into a thing. I would always have heavy guys, like green, yellow ninjas or orange, black ninjas, and then range ninjas.
Sniper guys.
And I was like, I'm gonna play this whole game doing this. And then 2 levels, it was like, shit don't work.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, so if I do big ninjas, snowball ninjas, little ninjas in case somebody goes too fast, and then snipers because of the thing, you know what I mean? Like, so then it's like this whole thing of like, and dojos and all this other stuff. It starts to get this thing where you lock into it satisfied that you have owned the game. The next round you do extremely well. Well, no, you do one round that's extremely well the next one, and then the next one doesn't go very well.
Right.
So it's like it has this constant feel of you gotta solve the puzzle of every level, and then it's like multiple areas, and then maybe they're going to somewhere else. So I, for one, was shocked at how much. If you don't like RTSs, this is a great sort of way to get into RTSs without feeling like you're doing RTSs.
Yeah, did you like it too?
Yeah, I liked it too. I recently gotten into this kind of game, and I'll talk more about that later in the segment.
Interesting.
But I really did like it. The one thing I found lacking, and maybe I missed the button, which you could get Tom Clancy on me and tell me there was something I didn't know. And that is, what was that game? End War.
Yeah.
Was there a way to zoom out?
No, but you had a top screen that was the zoom out.
Yeah, but not, yeah. What I needed was another view that was...
That's the top screen.
No, but there are tiny little dots in the top screen. I needed...
Midway point?
Yeah, I needed my midway point that I could just play. I didn't like that I would only see the section at a time or see a map. I don't want to see a map and see a section. I want to see
the action happening.
Yeah,
and
there's
not
another
just
view that's in desktop defense style games, and I wanted that view. And
I had the same feeling.
It was nice that I could get close up, which the other games don't offer. But I just wish couldn't there have just been whole day and stylus, and you could zoom out and then get a better picture, so you could really hone in on a strategy better. I would have liked that. Other than that, fun game.
Yeah, I agree, and it's I want to focus in on what you said, which is that this is a really great portable style of game because it is short chunks.
Yes.
And I want to kind of transition from this because one of the things that you've been playing a lot on the iPhone are these kind of desktop tower defense games. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about the iPhone as a gaming platform because I think I've been playing a lot of Field Runners, which is a desktop tower defense on the iPhone. And I think it's a perfect style of game, especially for the iPhone, where I think one of the faults in gaming on the iPhone is touching the screen too much and too often, and getting my thumbs in the way of seeing stuff.
Yeah.
And with desktop tower defense games, you're doing things and then watching, and then doing things and then watching.
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect play style, and I highly, highly recommend Field Runners. But I wanted to talk, we haven't ever talked, all of us own iPhones.
Yeah.
And I think it's becoming a very viable gaming platform, but we haven't really ever talked about the iPhone as a gaming platform on the show. And I know all of us have been playing different games. I really recommend Field Runners as an awesome, graphically intensive, very cool.
Well, we talked about it once, I think it was at E3 maybe, when we talked about the prospect of what could be done on the iPhone. And I went on record saying, it doesn't get me excited what you can do on the iPhone, but it gets me excited to see what the DS2, the PSP2, what those look like. Is Microsoft going to step into the handheld market? Is Engage?
Do you not game on your iPhone?
I don't. I
You
don't
do, I
very
know,
much.
a lot.
I don't very much.
Yes. I do quite a bit.
You actually got me into it. I was always worried about battery life on my phone.
Yeah.
So I don't really.
As many of your worries about your phone. You have to plug your phone. You have to dock your phone in order to get those games on there. So
He's figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
You can download directly on the phone.
I didn't know Field Runners was a tower defense game. I had to check that out because
it's awesome.
My #1 game. Have you played Tap Defense?
I have. I think Field Runners is far superior, but Tap Defense is free, and Field Runners is not free.
I see.
That's the thing I will say. I have yet to buy an app for the iPhone. I don't know why. It just feels wrong to me.
Most
Because
of
there's
the
so many
ones
free
I'll
ones.
mention are so Tap Defense. I heart much more than Ninja Town, and it's because it's a little bit simpler. And with that simplicity comes depth in just getting at higher levels and trying to figure out how and playing in hard mode and really and it's the perfect game to do in short spurts.
Yes, exactly.
Or if I'm watching with my brother and I'm like, he's liking the show and I'm not, so I'll just sit there and play that, whatever.
Right.
I got to give credit because I brought up Field Runners so passionately. Our buddy Don Fubar is the one who turned me on.
Oh, nice.
Thanks, bro.
Well,
I actually will say real quick before we go off, because I don't want it to seem like I don't play anything on my iPhone. Kevin Rose actually turned me on to chess.
Oh.
But chess that you actually play against other iPhone users.
Oh. So not in real time, you just kind of submit your next move, and then whenever they get
to it. But it happens almost instantaneously. So when you're in the same room, we did this when we did the live show in Virginia. He got me down there, and then we'd be doing something else and be like, dude, do your move. But also, you can do it across anything. You can be like, and you can have multiple games going with other people. So you can be like,
cool.
I got to finish my move for these guys.
I used to be really into chess. It's fun.
The only thing is that I don't think I enjoy chess enough. But I wanted to let everybody know, because if you do enjoy chess and you know anybody that has an iPhone as well as you can literally have multiple games going with
What's that one called?
Chess.
Free chess. How would I possibly find it?
It's got a little horse.
A rook. You can't watch Searching for Bobby Fischer and not play chess after seeing that movie.
Agreed. So watch Searching for Bobby Fischer and then download chess.
So Tap Defense is a great game. My personal favorite toilet game is Word Warp, which is basically Text Twist. The game that used to be on like Yahoo Games or whatever. It's like a word jumble game. Perfect toilet game because you can just do one round.
Too much information.
In the zone, and it's great, good to go. You only need a thumb for it.
Too much information.
Another
you don't have to use your pants like other games.
Trace is an awesome game that uses the iPhone very well, I think. Trace is basically you have a dude, you have an end goal, and you have obstacles, and you have to trace a path for him to walk on, and there's a jump and left-right buttons to get him to that end goal. Very cool. Kind of like those old crayon physics games that are on our hack phones, but not as in-depth, a little bit more simple, very fun. The coolest game I'm freaking hooked on right now is Topple. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Huh.
Awesome.
It's basically boom blocks, right?
It's kind of like boom blocks. You stack things like Tetris-style shapes on top of each other to try and get as high as the goal, but they waver, and you have to tilt to get. And the blocks have personality. The graphics are gorgeous, and it gets. You'll know what I mean. It's amazing. It's very quick. You can play it in short spurts, but it's so much fun.
Well, let's talk just for a second about the iPhone as a platform for gaming, because I think it's very
games.
Well, just in the sense of how you interact with it, because one of the games that I find to be the most fun